Commissioner Perez, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay, thank you. Please take roll.
Okay. Commissioner Cortese? Is he here? Commissioner Gomez? Present. Commissioner DeVries?
Present.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Present.
Commissioner Hirata? Present. Commissioner Kelly?
Present.
Commissioner Limbaugh?
Present.
Commissioner Perez? Present. Commissioner Morla?
That will be an excused absence for Commissioner Morla.
Okay.
We have some public comments. Julie, is it Medina?
Yes.
Would you please come forward?
Yes, thanks.
Hi, my name is Julie Medina, and I am the proud executive director of the One Love Dance Company of Oxnard. I want to share my thoughts with the commissioner to consider. Without the fiscal sponsorship of the Acuna Gallery at Cafe Ane, I would never have been awarded the arts funds because I would not been able to do the paperwork and jump through all the legal hoops. The many proposal preparation workshops put on by the Acuna Gallery helped me tremendously. I had only one option, the Acuna Gallery, for fiscal and legal sponsorship. No one else that I'm aware of will help as a small organization such as mine. The Acuna Gallery has helped me grow my art and my business. I grew as an artist, a woman, and I am more empowered, and I am giving back to the community. Please do not limit the tremendous work that art and community empowerment organizations like the Acuna Gallery do for us, single struggling artists and small organizations. The city arts funds have helped me create a health and exercise program that reaches factory and field working women that are transforming their lives and the lives of their families. Please do not limit the number of sponsors that a responsible nonprofit like the Acuna Gallery at the Cafe Ane can support. Thank you.
Thank you. Lorraine Milton, please. Or Lori Milton, excuse me.
Good afternoon. My name is Lori Milton. I am a resident here in Oxnard, California, and have been since I was born. And I was given the wonderful opportunity to have a cultural grant in 2014 and 2015 that worked with children in the public housing sector via Victoria, via Cesar Chavez, and several other places where we'd bring arts and arts education to kids whose parents were not able to afford the gas and or the means to get them to art classes. So I just implore you that you would continue to fund the funding that you have done before so kids can have arts education in their communities. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Armando Vasquez.
Thank you. I'm aware, acutely aware, that this commission has been impaneled for about a year. I'm also aware that many of you have been doing incredible work in the community for many, many years. Having said that, what is going on right now, I believe, within the commissioner's purview is not being reviewed as diligently and with a historical eye as quite possibly you need to. I want to touch on the idea, the notion, in getting this feedback that there's a move afoot to limit sponsorship to only one or two sponsorees by responsible nonprofit. Where is the due diligence? Where is the work? Where is the proof that suggests that one or two per nonprofit is equitable, economically sound, and empowering to the community? I bet you that you will not find that information. It doesn't exist. Quite the contrary, if you start looking just the opposite. If you look at this very program that you are now impaneled to supervise, you will see that an actual renaissance is taking place. So I don't know where those ideas are being fomented, but they are misdirected. The other is the notion that you grow arts by importing, so you limit the access to funding to seasoned artists that already have a one solo show or something like that. That's ridiculous on its face. That's not how you grow community art. That's how you become elitist. That's how you go back to what they were doing before you were impaneled. And finally, the idea, and I was part of that, was to get somebody, one of you guys, one of these people here, to go look for money, not to reenact a wheel, not to reduplicate a very viable RFP process. So you've wasted 1 year on an RFP process that was already done for you. You need to go after money, and if you don't do that, then you're not doing your job.
Thank you, Mr. Vasquez. Melissa Telles.
Hello. My name is Melissa, and I'm born and raised here in Oxnard. I've lived here all my life, so I know a lot of people, and it's just nice to be around the art community and be around just the liveliness. And I like to write, so that's my thing. I support the arts in all shapes, types, and forms. Art not only helps the community be entertained, but it provides public safety, positive energy, and love into our community's environment and surroundings. Many artists who do art shows and art events throughout our community are struggling by many situations like work, lack of funds, life, school, health problems, racism, and the list goes on. These struggling people still make it a priority to do loving things in their community. So why would someone try and prevent them from being awarded for their love, efforts, and dedication? The drafted RFP that I looked at, it has ridiculous requirements and limitations that are not positive for the community. So if you can just please rethink your decision on that RFP proposal or RFP draft, because it's not very open for a lot of the artists here in the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Telles. Ruth Jones.
Good evening. My name is Ruth Jones. I'm a registered nurse and brand new author. I've been going to Cafe on A. I thought it was going to be a year this month, but it's actually going to be a year next month in April. And I've seen so many wonderful things since I've been going there. And I've become a little concerned about the safety of Oxnard. I love this city. I have lived here for a long, long time. And I believe that art should be encouraged and it should be a priority. And I would like to please ask that there will be no limits on the fiscal sponsorships for all of these budding artists and all of these people who want to express themselves and who want to make our community more beautiful and more livable. It's going to benefit all of us in the long run. And I'd like to ask that the proposal about I would like to ask for more support, for individual local art, not less. And like I said before, there are lots and lots of artists who are just starving for an opportunity to express themselves, and it's only going to benefit us all as a community. And for the funding limit of 5 years to please be rethought, because putting a limit on how you can help people is just counterproductive. And if we want our community to continue to improve and improve for everybody, it's just going to be a win-win all the way around. And I'm stumbling a little bit, but I'm just kind of passionate about this, and because I've been hearing talk about what's been going on, and I just hope you guys rethink any cutting, any limitations, and to just help the community as you're all dedicated to doing. So I appreciate the time, and have a good evening.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jones. Dana Benson.
Good evening, all of you. My name is Dana Benson. I'm the Public Relations Director for a web-based show called Over the Influence. And we actually came together, a lot of the directors and the executive producers, through the Cafe Anne. I think it's a fantastic place. My children go there. It's an amazing establishment. But I'd like to read you our mission statement just from Over the Influence. Over the Influence is a diverse group of individuals who broadcast an internet TV show, and it was created by artists, for artists, to give the opportunity for these talented individuals to have a platform to express themselves through their thoughts, music, spoken word performances, and poetry. We believe through this medium and with their creativity, their actions and success will motivate them to believe in themselves enough to change our community and change the world. It is our primary objective and mission statement to support our community, the City of Oxnard, for positive change through volunteering for different organizations, hosting events, as well as leading by example throughout our philanthropic and charitable giving. Over the Influence is more than just a web show, it's a way of life and a movement. And I believe that the arts community needs things like this. And so limiting any kind of funding, again, I completely second what Ruth was saying, and I hope that we can achieve this together.
How does one log on to your web page?
You can follow us on YouTube by typing in Over the Influence Pro, and also on our Facebook page, which is just simply Over the Influence.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we move on to the agenda, I just want to say to the people that showed up, you're speaking to a draft that has been put forth, and the draft is out of our hands. It is now in city staff. And at some point, it will come back and be finalized. But at this point, it's simply a draft, and there is still work to be done. Thank you. Let's move on. Will we review the minutes, please? And then the chair will entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented, or any amendments. Commissioner DeVries?
Yes. I believe that we had talked about a future item that would be placed on this agenda would be to discuss to keep the word straight, a transparency issue for issuing pre-grant monies, for example, with the utility box area. And I don't see it on the agenda for that discussion. I just see that it's a staff report.
Yes, it is a staff report.
And just for clarification, we had asked that we could have a discussion about it, so I don't know if we can do that if it's listed in this area.
Well, we'll put it down for new business for next time. Yes, ma'am.
Are we reviewing the agenda
Yes.
right now? I'd like to request that the item about support of the June Art Festival be moved to 5:45 p.m. I've asked Chelsea Reynolds to come and address us, and I told her that I thought a good time to get here would be 5:45. So if we get to that new business
Okay.
before 5:45, can we just move it on a
Sure.
time flex? Thank you.
Sure.
Respectfully, I think that we were approving the minutes, and I was saying that in the minutes, it doesn't seem to have the request that we have a transparency discussion put on as an agenda item for this time.
Mr. Frail, any comment on that?
I missed that. You're right, the utility staff, the utility box staff report is a different issue. So could you restate it,
Yeah,
please?
basically, we want to have a discussion of when it would be appropriate to have funding outside the regular cycle.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and so the area that prompted that was the donation for the utility box, and it was in response to people in the community asking me about that.
Yes, I'm sorry, I do recall that. And what we have that under is our projects proposed by the public. So my wording on the agenda.
Okay, so it's under H.
And we were going to report on it.
Okay.
Maybe I misunderstood that you wanted to have a full discussion.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So,
Okay, let's see what
I will correct
transpires
that.
after when we get to item H.
Okay, so basically we'll amend the minutes to add that to it?
Well, I think it was already incorporated under item H.
Microphones on, please.
Thank you.
Yes.
No, is that what it is?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Is there any other item? The chair entertains a motion to pass the minutes. Moved by Commissioner Gomez, seconded by Commissioner DeVries. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, withholding? Passes unanimously. Okay, thank you. So we'll move on to old business. Excuse me, I'm in the wrong place. Under old business, I'm wondering, there were two items, Ms. Cantor, under item I of the minutes that says staff report on resources available to the commission and staff report on question, can artists bring proposed projects to the commission? So that second one is going to be under H, arts projects proposed by the public, but
And so is the
the resources?
so is the first one that
Okay,
says
all right. Okay, thank you. So let's continue then. Under old business, there appears to be none. And we will defer.
We're doing staff report.
Excuse me.
That will be during the staff report, where we have the utility box
Oh, okay.
discussion.
So we will defer the June Art Festival for half an hour or so, and we'll move on to Commissioner Limbaugh on her call to artists that was broached last time.
All right, I put some ideas together and talked with some artists in the community and found that everyone seemed to be on board with the premise. And just to be clear about what my vision was and why I brought it up, was I feel a call to artists is critical, that we can unite the artists to find out what they're interested in doing, how we can support them, not necessarily tell them how they can support us or what art we want created, but what art they want to create. I spoke with Oxnard College. They're willing to let us use the classroom space at no charge. And I just asked about Wednesday evening because that seemed to be a good night. So there was no random reason that I picked Wednesday. So they're willing to let us meet there, and the whole premise is to get anyone who is an artist, a supporter of the artists, in the room together and say, how can we build community? How can we mentor each other? How can we help economic development? How can we help tourism? We do that by talking to each other. We can do, I've been in communities where we've had artist tours, where each artist contributed $50 to print a brochure, and one weekend of the year, all the art studios are open. No cost to us, but in effect, we become a voice for the artists. And for us to do that successfully, I think we need to talk to the artists. And so that is why I brought this up. And it supports number 4 in the strategic plan to help build consensus. So that is, in a nutshell, what I'm thinking.
Any comments?
Would it be, how different would it be from just holding a public hearing? Is it just, everybody will just be able to jot down their ideas and take everybody's ideas and then thereafter be able to process them in a logical manner to print out so that everybody will see, okay, this is what citywide these artists would like to do?
Yes, I feel that it needs to come from the commission because we have been tasked with supporting.
Yeah.
And so if we are in support of this, and it becomes ongoing. We need more than one meeting. But we have one meeting where we put everything on the table, we gather all ideas, and then we come back and we say, okay, this is the direction they're going. So we're working hand in hand. So as far as scripting it, you don't want to script it too much.
Sure.
But it is performance art, it is musical, it is 2D, 3D. It is anyone who wants to be involved in the arts, maybe not as an artist, but as a volunteer to support it. So and the group I was in previously, we were able to bring up and support a co-op. And so it becomes, there's no vested interest, no one is getting paid. It is purely trying to get people in a room saying, what do you want? Where can we help you? So as far as telling you more, in running it, we would be tasked with gathering that information. And there might be things that are unreachable for us. But there could be some very simple things. It can be, we could hold workshops on how to fill out grants, from what I've heard. We can hold, we can mentor, more experienced artists can help less experienced artists. There's just, anytime you build community, you end up succeeding. Yes.
I just have a question. I'm wondering about the location of doing this, and I hang out at Oxnard College, so I'm not averse to Oxnard College, but I noticed that when we did the charrette, the vibrancy of this little building that the city sort of owns and sort of doesn't own, and it's going to get dumped, or I don't know what's happening to it. But I just wonder if you would consider using the old Social Security building where the charrette took place as being more central. And I mean, I was amazed at the traffic during that 4-day charrette.
Well, ideally, you would have it in different locations.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so you would travel around. And I know at our last meeting, someone brought up the expense of having it. And I thought, I know where we can get it for free. So I used that as a starting point because that's what I had at hand. But if there is support, we can absolutely investigate. But the idea is that you don't keep it too central. You have it here, and then you have it over here, and then you have it over here. And then that way you touch on artists that maybe don't have transportation available, but still want to be a part of it. So absolutely, that can happen.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Commissioner DeVries.
Yes, I'm glad that this is an idea of listening in an organized manner for the people. I know that we tried to do that with the Strategic Planning Committee, and we had some people, but we needed to continue that. It's on. I'm sorry. It's on. Can you hear? Yeah. Okay. But the part that I was saying is I think we could even have it at many levels so that people could write in and say what they would like to do. Absolutely. And that we could have collected groups present things. And some things might be on video that come to the meeting. So that in many ways we'd be gathering the information.
Yes.
And what is already going on and what could be expanded.
And you take the ideas in the first meeting, what you would do is you'd look for a thematic points, and then you would break into small groups and find ways to develop those points. So coming back to the commission, it would not just be I want. It becomes I want this, and this is a way I see we can achieve it. So in effect, the artists work in tandem with us to build the arts in Oxnard.
Great.
Commissioner Limbaugh, how would you get the word out so that people are aware of this meeting and place?
Well, you would go a variety. We'd use Facebook. It would be announced. We would ask the newspaper to put it in committee, or community points, that kind of thing. And you basically put some posters up, and you talk. radio. If I believe that the radio and the newspaper will support this, because if we can build a stronger art base, we will support economic development here. And I think it becomes just a little bit of information that they can put in the paper or on radio.
Sure, we can do that.
Yeah, I just don't see that as an issue.
Commissioner Gomez.
Would it be feasible for us to utilize the services of all our contacts that we have on our list? Because obviously the first thing that came up to my mind was, how do we build our list? And if we have already an established list of artists that are out there, we will, bombard them, and hopefully maybe we'll request, or ask them to likewise bring in one or two artists, and and whatever burning questions that they have. One of the questions I was asked was, the limitation that of the sponsorship. Hopefully we can investigate how many nonprofit organizations that we have in our city that are doing like work in the arts that can serve likewise as sponsorship to other artists, so that we can get them more engaged in the art process if they're out there dormant, but at least the artists will be aware that there are all these venues, and if we can give them that opportunity, then they have a choice to where they can solicit their support.
It's asking the museum if they would send it out and include it in there. It's going to the art classes at the college. It's, using those already established art tracks for contacts. And then as you think of something, we send it out again.
Okay, Commissioner Cortese?
I forgot what I was going to ask.
We'll come
Yes,
back.
Commissioner DeVries.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm excited about this because in our own way at the Cafe on A, we've been doing this from the first part, so that we have a large grouping of people that contribute and share what they need and what they want and what their goals are. So what we're being able to do with this is formalize it and give it a structure through the commission.
Yes.
But the other piece of it, it blends with that idea of the utility box extra funding, because maybe having $50 is, for example, that one model where you would build a brochure for the city. Maybe that's something that could be a project that we would coordinate with and use some of our funding for that. So anyway, I see it on many levels, and we can replicate it and expand it, and with the main goal of meeting our vision, which is to incorporate the arts into the very fabric of our area.
Okay, Commissioner Limbaugh, why don't you take the leadership role on this?
Okay.
And would you write up a plan for distribution to the commission with some kind of detail as to an agenda for this gathering, a program as to how you would contact people, address how the meeting would run, if there would be note takers? And so in as much detail as possible, if you can do that for our meeting next month.
Will do.
And then can you put that, please, Mr. Frail, on new business for next month?
Thank you.
Okay, good, thank you. So,
Chairman?
yes, Commissioner.
Would it behoove maybe adding on some assistance to help her out with this process? If she needs, it almost sounds like an ad hoc committee.
I'm more than happy to have anyone who would like to contribute. How about if I send an email out to the commission and anyone who wants to jump on?
It's just that we run into the problem of the Brown Act. That's why that's why I was saying that we have to be committed.
At this point, we're doing just a lot of brainstorming. Let her do that first, and then we'll...
How about if I come up with a framework, and then we'll chop it apart and add to it, and then we'll go from there?
Okay, great, thank you. All right, so we will defer with the June Art Festival, and we'll continue on to item G, reports. And so we've got a subcommittee, 501, perhaps? Ms. Cantor?
Well, Commissioner Hirata and I have spoken about it a bit, and so have you, Commissioner Gonzalez, and I with Jerry Yoshitomi. Was there anything we wanted to move forward on, Commissioner Hirata? We were discussing.
No, also, I've met with Cesar. He's actually the chair yeah, you are.
Surprise.
And, but you were appointed, maybe you weren't here when you were appointed, but anyway, no, we've kind of tabled that for the moment because of the difficulties.
Okay, so
We're not having a-
501C is currently tabled because of issues that are being addressed with staff.
Yes.
Can I just point out that it says in the minutes that it was Commissioner Hirata, Perez, and Kelly who were on the
Right.
501c3?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, continuing then with Strategic Plan Subcommittee, I think we're going to defer on that as well at this time,
Yes.
am I right?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so on those two items, we will put them on for next month. Perhaps there will be other things that might evolve. So continuing to leave new business support of June Festival in limbo, we'll move on to IH, staff comments and reports, the commission resources.
Right, before we address the commission resources, I just want to point out to the commissioners that left at your seats were those Form 700s, which are required by the city. I mean, it's way, way more information than you probably want or need, but it's material from the city clerk's office that needs to be done once again for 2016. And I also gave you the phone number of the staff person at the city clerk's office if you have questions.
When did they do?
Before,
We didn't get a due date, I don't think.
usually it's April
Yeah,
10th.
That's what I
Oh,
thought.
is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you're
We,
more on top of that than I am.
we will get you an answer by the end of the week,
The letter I received was the end of March that was due,
that they're due.
Oh, so you did get a letter of that?
yeah, but that, I came on to it late.
There is a fine of $10 thereafter each day that you don't submit the report. So in case the commissioners don't know that.
We'll double check the due date.
May I ask you a question, Ms. Cantor? Is there just one simple page we have to sign, or do we have to go through Schedule A, B, C,
I think it depends on
D,
your personal
E?
situation. I think it's your personal situation, but I can't say that definitively. That's why I gave you the phone number of the staff person at the clerk's office.
Okay.
Can I?
Yes.
When I came on, I asked about that, and the staff person will not answer those questions because it's considered giving advice.
Legal advice.
And so they won't answer it, so that doesn't help. What I did find out is that if you have a business, you have to claim it. If you have stocks and whatnot that are aside because of retirement, you don't have to claim those. So those items are not part
So
of it.
basically, each one of the schedules needs to be signed, and you can just put NA not applicable?
No, there's just one page.
Oh, where's that?
It's after about the first 5 pages.
The thick one?
It's in the thick one, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
And it
It's a
says
6
on it
page.
whether you are filling out any of these, and then in the red box, it says none.
Okay.
And I
That's the one key page.
And I believe from asking questions at another time when I had to fill these out, your home doesn't count as an asset,
Correct,
or your car.
correct.
So.
Or your IRA.
So let me,
Right.
so why don't we just look at this in a minute then, if you don't mind. Item 1, office, agency, or court. Do we put the Cultural Arts Commission or City of Oxnard or what?
City of Oxnard Cultural Arts Commission.
And that's under number 2, I think, too.
Well, number 1 says office,
Yeah.
agency, or
Yeah.
court. So there we'll put City of Oxnard, and item number 2, the jurisdiction would be city.
Right, City
Yes.
of Oxnard.
Item number 3, it covers January 1,
These are all dates.
right, so what do we do on those dates?
I'm sorry, I can't answer. I got these materials from the clerk's office for distribution to all commissioners.
Well, we're not candidates, so we aren't voted in, so we might say the date that we assumed office, and that was April what? Do you remember April 8th, I think, it was when we took our first oath of office?
Last year.
Let me check my calendar.
seems to me like these dates might be outdated, and yet this is
April
the
8th.
one.
Okay, so we can probably put down April the 8th for those of us who were here. The others can get their own dates.
I guess that's you, Trish.
And so that's,
Good for you.
so item number 4, we can probably, unless some of you have lots of money, do none. And then verification is simply our address, our phone number, and then we sign. Okay.
May I just make one comment? I think the main reason for doing this is the idea of the gifts. So if you have meals or other things that exceed a certain dollar amount, you need to report it, so just caution.
Well, when I was planning to go to
I
the
know.
Nordic countries, no one said I could take money. All right, so we took care of that, more or less.
Now regarding the commission's resources.
Yes.
So the commission's, or as you had termed it, I think, the assets, and Mr. O'Friel might be able to supplement my comments. But basically, your resources consists of my time and Mr. O'Friel's time, and when called for, the time, you know, if the city attorney is called in, and that's your resources. Dan, do you want to supplement that?
The way it's been established for the cultural arts assistant staff time, it's been averaging 15 hours a week.
Right.
My time is not 100% dedicated to the Arts Commission because I do have the job duties. So I'm available, definitely available for the commission meetings and to supplement as I can during the week also for answering questions and preparing for meeting issues.
Under resources, if we continued with these series of meetings that Commissioner Limbaugh is speaking about, and we use some spaces that the city owns, would we have to pay rent for those spaces?
I would imagine it's place by place. I know a few weeks back or a few months back, the subject of the PAC had come up. And I know when we, as Development Services Department, had used space at the PAC, we were charged to use it. So I can't give a broad statement as to, yes, we can use city places, or no, it would be a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
I think Mr. Perez has a comment.
Yes, Mr. Perez.
Did you state, Mr. O'Friel, your hours that are dedicated to this? I think you said something about as needed.
Yes, I support the commission meetings.
Okay, meetings.
The meetings, yes.
Okay, so you're dedicated to us for these meetings.
For these meetings, yes. And then I do other work during the week for you, as in preparing for the meetings and then preparing the minutes and agendas.
But you're also available if someone wants to speak with you and it's a meeting that goes half an hour to an hour, correct?
I'm sorry, say that again?
You're also available if a member of the commission wants to speak with you and with Ms. Cantor.
Yeah, sure, to answer questions and such.
And as for, meeting rooms, we have the conference rooms at the service center, and with advance notice, we can typically, make those available. That's just for, conference settings, probably 8 to 10 people.
Okay, thank you.
Not for the kind of big public forum that Commissioner Limbaugh was.
Commissioner DeVries?
Yes, I just wanted to follow up on, for example, Michelle, how much time do you devote to other things other than the commission?
Well, everything's kind of vaguely related to cultural arts in terms of, researching grants, meeting with some of the artists, meeting with some of the nonprofits. So it's all tied part and parcel to the commission. And it's typically about 15 hours a week. Sometimes I go to conferences or I'm in on other meetings or other planning about the arts if I'm called into a city meeting.
Okay. I have a question, Michelle. Are you able to write grants as well? Is that part of your job? Or
I have
could you?
helped with that. I've helped with some organizations when they've been writing grants.
Because my question is also, we're part of the city, and I know that departments, are able to apply for different grants, and it comes from the department. So are we able to do that too or not?
Yes,
So we
yes.
could do that independent of, we don't have to be a 501(c)(3). We could actually do that.
Correct.
Or you could do that
If
for.
it's available to a municipality, yes.
Oh,
And
so
I
we
can
haven't
certainly
explored,
work with
yeah,
that.
we haven't explored that. That is something we need to do.
I've explored that on my own and haven't, and have certainly seen some, but the city wasn't quite ready for some of the grants that I saw.
Okay, I understand.
I was just going to say, I know I was fortunate enough to be on the hiring committee for interviewing, and one of the main goals that we have for this position is that it would be grant writing. And so I don't know that it's ever come to the committee or to our commission that that's changing. And so I think it's really important that we know what it is that we can depend on and what we can't. And so just as a process, I made a list of questions, but one of them is, for example, who is supervising your work? Is it the commission or is it someone else?
At this point, it's the head of the Development Services Department, Ashley Golden.
Right.
Okay, and then, but that is relatively recent, right?
Right.
Okay.
Used to be Matthew Winiger.
Okay, and so, for example, if you were being asked to do things other than the Cultural Arts Commission, how do we know that you're being pulled away from what this commission is funding right now? And how do we support you in being able to say, no, I need to just do these Cultural Arts Commissions things?
If I could help clarify
Yes.
a little bit. Michelle's position is 100% dedicated to the cultural arts in the city. And with that, she is also support staff for the Cultural Arts Commission. So we have her job description here. May I see what I handed you there? So what it entails is the assistant administering and monitoring the Cultural Arts Grant Program, seek and apply for arts-related grants for which the city would be an eligible recipient, assist in support of the Cultural Arts Commission and subcommittees, develop and maintain databases for arts-related activities, events, venues, organizations, artists, assist in coordination and promotion of art-related events, other similar and related duties as determined by city management. So she's 100% dedicated to the cultural arts in the city, but also she is the primary support for the Cultural Arts Commission.
Thank you.
Does that
That defines it.
clarify it?
To some
She's
degree.
not, I'm sorry, she is not being pulled away to do any non-cultural arts related work.
Commissioner
For
Gomez.
instance, when there was the talk about the festival, I went to a couple of those meetings. When the city manager requested some ideas in advance of the charrette, I was in on some of those meetings. So it's all cultural arts related, so it certainly ties in with the commission.
So basically, if we found some grants, if we did some research, we could bring that back to you. So
By
that's
all
maybe
means.
something that we should be doing.
By
Okay,
all means.
Commissioner Gomez.
And that has happened.
That was my question, because I know one of the concerns in the public was, we should be going after money. And that will be our question to the commissioners, to all of us here. When are we going to be ready to start, investigating those grants that are available so that we can begin to, is it all pending, the 501c3?
No, not at all.
Or,
I think you are ready at any
Exactly.
moment.
Hey, Commissioner Cortez.
Can we, as a commission, request that Ms. Cantor come back to us the next meeting or 2 meetings from now with her research findings of grants that the city would qualify for, to keep us aware of the of the research findings that she has made, and tell us, well, here's this thing from the Department of Defense that wants to put up painted missiles or whatever. Excuse my humor. It's kind of bad. But can we get an occasional report of possible grant opportunities?
By all means. as
Can
well.
you, in that vein, if you could make a list of some of the agencies that give grants for these kinds of things so that we're aware of them, And as Commissioner Cortez is saying also, those that have passed through your desk that we can also be aware
I
of.
might even have
Okay.
such a list.
Commissioner Gomez.
I do have one right now. That's why I asked the question about that one. Because as of March the 31st, ACTA, the Alliance of Cultural Arts Organization, is receiving grants that are up to $5,000 that are dealing with the cultural arts. And so, that should be preview information to all of us, so that if there's any artists out there in our community, or our commission could post that and say, please submit, you have until the 31st of March to submit this grant.
Okay. Yes,
Just
Commissioner
one-
DeVries.
I just know that this month is the month that all of the grants for the Cultural Arts Commission, the California Arts Council, sorry,
Right.
CAC gets in my head, are due. And so I'm just wondering, did we apply for any of those from the Cultural Arts Committee?
No. The ones that I've looked at them, and in fact, I'm supposed to be on one of the review committees. They haven't allocated to which ones yet. It didn't seem that the city was ready at this point for some of those, but certainly the individual nonprofits were. And I know in the past, I've sent that out to the nonprofits, and I know, some of the groups have applied successfully.
So if you can then prepare, Ms. Cantor, if you can then prepare a sheet in which you name the different agencies, give a brief description of what they do, and then typically their due date. And these are due dates that are probably always the same. I know when I was in teaching, I would apply to the NEH, and it was always the same time, and that it came out at the same time, and then the due date was the same time. So if you could kind of prepare that so that we're aware of these kinds of things. Some of these are, and perhaps all of them, are beyond a due date that we could apply for, but at least we'll be aware of them, and we'll be on top of them for the following cycle.
In the past, I had distributed some of that information to our existing cultural arts grantees.
Okay.
Can I
One
just-
final thing, please, and this
Just
is
the
it.
questions, I'm sorry, my question is, what hours are you here and which days generally?
It's flexible from week to, it varies every week, but I'm usually here at least 3 days a week. So if I'm away longer than that, I put a message on my Gmail, but I'm usually here 3 days a week, but it's not always the same 3 days. It's based on schedule and appointments.
Okay, thank you. We're going to continue. We will go back up to new business. And Commissioner Cortez has the floor in support of the June Art Festival.
Thank you. I requested this item to be put on the agenda for this week because I was aware that the Performing Arts Center was considering a festival to showcase the art of the grantees of the past 3 cycles, or 2 cycles, whatever it is. And so I've been in a bit of a conversation with Chelsea Reynolds, who just walked in, and I asked her to come today and update us on what's going on in terms of this specific arts festival, I guess we call it.
Mm-hmm.
So can you please call Chelsea to come to the podium and tell us what she's doing?
Ms. Reynolds.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Chelsea Reynolds. I'm the director of the Oxnard Performing Arts and Convention Center. And I'm here to talk to you about the Oxnard Arts Festival. One of the things that we're doing first off is we are changing the date of the festival to August. We're working in August now. August the 13th is going to be the new date because we were concerned about possible conflict with other events that may be happening July 4th weekend. So we want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to attend and participate. The purpose of the Oxnard Arts Festival is to showcase grantees, but it's also to give Oxnard arts organizations and artists an opportunity to showcase their work and advertise potential performances for their seasons starting in September. For this festival, which is going to be a one-day event, We're looking to have live performances, an art show. We're currently working on a call for artists for that. Food trucks, family activities, showcases from our resident companies, and opportunities for grantees and other artists to show their work and perform. So that's it in a nutshell.
Okay. Questions, please.
Is there a particular contact number that maybe you can make us aware that grantees or any interested bodies could
Yes,
call
we
in?
are going to be doing an application for entry for interested parties as well. But if people are interested, they can give me a call at 805-385-8165. I don't know why speaking in front of these things makes me so nervous.
You know, or maybe you don't, that August 13th is my birthday.
Well, happy birthday.
Well, we'll see.
Oh, how wonderful.
I thought you were
Okay.
going to say how old when you said how wonderful. Ms. Kander.
Yes, I have a question, Chelsea.
Yes.
I received a phone call from someone who said he was calling on your behalf about a festival in June, and he mentioned June 8th.
That was Harold,
Yes.
and it's August. So at that time, we hadn't changed the date yet. They had a meeting, and we discussed it to
Okay,
change it,
so
yes.
his call is regarding
Is-
the same thing that you just addressed?
Yes, to call you back, so.
Okay, I haven't called him back yet. Thank you. I picked that message up this afternoon. Thank you.
No problem.
Are you having planning meetings?
We haven't started our meetings yet. They'll be soon. We're just finishing a wrap-up from a busy season, a busy session that we
Correct.
had with our show, but we'll be starting them probably next month.
There may be members of this council that would perhaps like to participate with you.
That sounds great. I'll make sure that we send out an email so that interested parties can be involved.
Great, thank you. Other comments? Yes,
Do
Commissioner.
you have a ballpark idea of your budget?
We're looking at maybe about 30,000 right now, but I'm not sure.
Okay. I know, I understand that you're in the preliminaries. Will you be asking the artists and arts organizations for a fee to come in and show their work if they've been a grantee or?
If you're a grantee, no. We are doing a juried art show. There will be a fee for entry for that.
Art of the up-on-the-wall kind of art?
We're looking at like kiosks and tables in the Oxnard room for the juried show.
Okay.
And then we're also going to be showing in the lobby and in some other locations on the property.
One of the reasons I did this, and I realize that it's up for discussion, and we may not need to vote on it yet, but I'd like for us to consider making a contribution to help the costs of this event, because it is an event that will allow for our grantees to show their stuff. And, we have, with the grant, or not the grant, but the support that we gave to the ODID, it's this same kind of thing, is for us to consider, maybe not today, but next month, now that it's been put off, to provide some support to the PAC to put on this event. And that's one of the reasons I had requested this to go on to the agenda, is for the Cultural Arts Commission to request City Council permission to give the PAC some seed money to get this event off on the road.
So this is germane on the art project proposed by the public, that conversation that we need to have.
Right.
Okay.
And therefore,
Right.
I do not ask for a motion
Right,
right
absolutely.
now.
And also, I don't think that's gone to council yet, has that? Your request has not.
Well, the earlier one, I have no idea, but
No, I don't think it's gone to
Okay,
council
well,
yet.
that's
so
fine.
That,
everything takes time. I
Yes.
understand that. But we did make a motion and approve giving some money to the ODID. And so I'm following it up with a second
Right.
idea of giving some support to the PAC to pull this off.
Okay, I
Correct.
agree with that, but I
Let's
think we
move
have
on
to change
then.
the procedure.
I do too.
There is no change of procedure at the
No,
moment that
no.
we will be discussing it, but anyway, thank you very much,
Thank
Ms. Reynolds. Germaine to that same issue, we have a person, Jessica Kimball, who wants to speak to that item.
One quick question, are we putting that on the next month's agenda?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Hello, Commission and viewers. My name is Jessica Lynn Kimball, and I am a radio personality now with CAC, which is Community Advocacy Coalition, and I also, works in conjunction with www.rhythmofthecoast.com. We're just waiting for our antenna. And I also work with other organizations and collaborate with other organizations such as Cafe on A, BAPAC, Over the Influence, and DMT Media Group, and DMT Meeting Determination, Motivation, and Trust, as well as outer and surrounding areas like LA, organizations such as CYPHER, which is Conscious Youth Promotes Health and Environmental Readiness. My concern was about the June Arts Festival, which actually she had answered my concern because we have an art festival